Brigitte Harris was born on June 6, 1981, in Staten Island, New York, to Liberian immigrant parents. She lived in an apartment in Park Hill with her mother until age 2, at which point she was abandoned by her mother and subsequently moved in with her father, Eric Goodridge, in Bay Shore, Long Island. When her father later moved back to his home country, Brigitte moved around with relatives. Harris reports being physically abused by her grandmother and inappropriately abused by a cousin. During a family trip to Liberia, Harris confronted her mother about the abuse at Eric's hands, but Eric denied the allegations and claimed that his daughter was mentally ill. Harris moved out at age 17 and, at the time of the incident, was working as a security guard at John F. Kennedy International Airport. After several years of estrangement from her father, Harris was contacted by her sister Carlene Goodridge, who claimed that Eric wanted to talk to them. When Harris arrived, she saw one of her nieces sitting on Eric's lap, leading to an argument with Carlene considering his past abuse of the sisters when they were children. Eric informed Harris that he had decided to take his granddaughters with him back to Liberia against their will. On July 28, 2007, Harris confronted Eric in her Rockaway apartment and attempted to convince him not to take the girls. After the conversation became heated, Harris handcuffed her father to a chair, put a towel in his mouth to prevent him from screaming, and unalived him. She also cut off his thing. Investigators believed that he was already unalived when this happened. She later threw his severed thing under the Rockaway boardwalk in Far Rockaway. Upon dialing 911 and informing the operator of Eric's condition, Harris claimed that she was on her way to the police station but never showed up. Instead, she contacted Carlene and told her what she had done. Carlene advised her to come to her home instead of turning herself in. When Harris arrived, Carlene called an ambulance. After seeing Harris with the weapon in hand and still in shock, the sisters decided to check Harris into the Richmond University Medical Center psychiatric ward. Carlene hired defense attorney Arthur Elidala to represent Harris, who subsequently told him about the inappropriate abuse she and her sisters suffered by Eric. She explained how, in some African cultures, fathers are entitled to take their daughters' virginity. He said he was doing it because he loves me and that is how fathers show love to their daughters. Brigitte said. Carlene admitted that she was inappropriately abused by Eric as well but had been too afraid to say anything. She set up a website called SaveBrigitte.com to raise money for her sister's legal defense. Ultimately, Adala, a highly respected attorney who normally charges a top fee, believed in Brigitte Harris's case so strongly that he took it on pro bono and even persuaded experts who testified in her defense to waive their fees as well. After being discharged from the psychiatric ward on August 16, 2007, Harris was charged with second-degree unaliving and first-degree manslaughter and was held at Rikers Island. Harris, who had referred to herself as Lady Vengeance in the original Dark Angel on her MySpace page, claimed that she had not intended to unalive her father. I felt that I had to stop him, take away his weapon. 2 years after her arraignment for second-degree unaliving, Harris went to trial in September 2009. Testifying in her own defense, Harris stated that she had researched a 1993 castration case of John and Lorena Bobbitt. Prosecutors maintained that Harris' actions towards her father showed premeditation. Harris argued that her motive for the unaliving was not revenge, but an act to prevent Goodridge from taking his granddaughters to Liberia and likely inappropriately touching them. On September 30, 2009, the jury found Harris guilty of the lesser-included offense of second-degree manslaughter. One juror reported that, "None of us felt that she deserved to get any unaliving charges or anything, so we decided on second-degree manslaughter." Despite jury letters, Queen's Supreme Court Judge Arthur Cooperman sentenced Harris to the maximum of 5 to 15 years in prison. After serving 3 years, she was released on parole on August 13, 2012. Harris has reiterated that she did not intend to unalive her father and expressed a desire to work with the advocacy group Steps to End Family Violence when she was released from prison. Thank you for watching. For more true crime stories, follow my co-host Child Case Podcast with Sylvia Pradia, where she covers child abuse cases.